You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing today? This is a quick little last minute live stream that I did because, the gift that keeps on giving, MLF, the BPT, Major League Old Fishing just came out with some new rules. Oh my goodness, what a blessed day this is. So if you guys are living under a rock, there are new rules that have just been dropped that could potentially kill the old BFLs as we know it. So I kind of just want to get into it. Call-in number is 667-307-8583. So if you want to call, get on the show here, you're more than welcome to. Let's get right into the old article here. So earlier today, the Major League Fishing brass decided to drop this bombshell when it came to 2026. And that is new rules with the BFLs and forward-facing sonar. All BFL events will include restricted use of forward-facing sonar and 360-degree sonar technology, limited to 3 hours of continuous use per day, maintaining a fair and balanced playing field for all anglers while emphasizing skill and strategy. The Phoenix Bass Fishing League has always been about opportunity, giving anglers the chance to compete close to home in a professional setting for meaningful prizes, said MLF Executive Vice President General Manager Kathy Finnell. With lower entry fees, higher payouts, and more ways to win than ever before, the 2026 season represents the most rewarding year yet for the BFL anglers. For more than 4 decades, this trail has been the foundation of tournament bass fishing, and we're proud to continue carrying that legacy forward. And as you can see, for the 2026 BFL leagues, all of them, all 24 divisions, 4 one-day qualifiers per division, forward-facing sonar and 360-degree sonar, restricted to 3 hours. Then a 1-2-day super tournament per division, forward-facing sonar and 360 sonar, again, is restricted to 3 hours a day. So let us talk about this here. This is absolutely wild. They have done it. They have come up with the most convoluted and stupid rules possibly imaginable. How are you going to be enforcing such a rule? Well, there are multiple ways. One of them is with the technology of Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird, and whatever other unit you can come up with saying it. Maybe you can timestamp it like you do with catch, measure, release about when necessarily this happened. Was it 3 hours and 1 second? Was it 4 hours, 5 hours? Potentially, our fishing units could potentially do that. But let's face it here. What they're doing is going to pit co-anglers and boaters against each other. That's what's going to happen. Because unless you're going to go through a tournament and go into every single person's vote after the tournament, which you're not going to do, who's going to do that? They're not going to go through all 24 divisions of the BFLs and go through every single person's boat. Maybe the winners. But what's going to end up happening is going to come down to a co-angler reporting the boater. That's really what this is going to be down, just like the no information rule being convoluted and stupid as is for all divisions. I'm an equal opportunity asshole. And I believe all different groups, whether it's NPFL, Major League Fishing, or Bass, all do a terrible job with no information rule. This right here is going to just absolutely crater the relationship with co-anglers and boaters. Just imagine that you have a boater that you don't like. Well, what would stop you from saying like, yeah, actually it wasn't 3 hours, it was like 3 hours and 2 minutes. I need you to go check his timestamp on his fishing unit, or make him have a polygraph. Or what happens if a boater somehow draws a friend of his? Maybe they let it slide. Maybe it's like, yeah, it actually wasn't in between the lines there of 3 full hours. So yeah, what we're going to do is just let that slide. I'm not going to complain about it. This is absolutely dumb. It really is. I don't know any other way about it. You're trying to split the baby with the bathwater here, and you just can't. And this reminds me really of the movie industry. That's really what this reminds me of right now, where you try to take every single genre and smash it together and make it so everyone's happy. Let's take horror. Let's take comedy. Let's take things that don't actually belong together. It's like trying to take, hey, listen, we want to combine the revenue that we get from the adult film industry, and we want to blend that with Bluey. We want to really take one film that really helps with the adult film industry and the children and smash it together and it'll work, right? No, there are some things that just aren't compatible. And they are trying so hard to make this round peg fit in a square hole when it comes with, hey, let's try to appease the forward-facing Sonar people and let's try to appease the non-forward-facing Sonar people. And I really think the best interpretation of this is probably what Bass did with maybe splitting the schedule in half. Though honestly, I am still a 100% believer of just have two separate companies, separation of church and state. This company right here, we'll let you use forward-facing Sonar. Come on aboard. Company number 2, the NPFL. Hey, we're going to go with no live scope. Come on here if you want to do that. But why? Why won't they do that? That's really a simple answer, isn't it? Money, baby. Because Garmin, Lowrance, and Humminbird, they are the mega corporations when it comes to the fishing industry. They just are. They're the big dogs that are on the block right now. And you want some of that sweet, sweet Garmin sponsorship money. So that is why Bass has not just completely axed their relationship with Garmin. That's why Major League Fishing has not axed their relationship with Garmin. It's because they want some of that sweet money. Because you know what would happen tomorrow if Boyd Duckett and the people at the halls of BASS decided, listen, we are banning forward-facing Sonar. We are banning 360 completely. I bet your ass the MPFL would be the next day. Hey guys, great news. We just signed a mega deal with all the electronic companies. We are now going to have the best payouts absolutely imaginable, because that's what's going to happen if you shift it. That's why you haven't seen one of these companies move it, because if they thought they could make more money by banning forward-facing Sonar, they would have done it already, but they haven't. And so again, we're going to get this beautiful corporate, let's just try to split it and make both sides happy. And this is the most convoluted rule. And the only way I see them actually enforcing this is with co-anglers tattling on anglers, on boaters. Wild, absolutely wild stuff that we're seeing right here. I don't know what can be done about it. I don't know if this is the best ruling. I want to hear from you guys, and we're going to continue going through this article. Please, again, if you guys can hear me okay, let me know in the comment section if you can. The phone number, let me pull up the old phone number here. 667-307-8583. There are a couple of other things that are interesting about the new release, which is the new payout structure that we are going to be seeing from the good old BFLs. We have a, streamlined payout structure that awards 20% of the field with 29% more money for a win and 25% more money for the last checks in every qualifier, while reducing entry fees to $200 for boaters and $100 for co-anglers. That is convoluted and stupid. How are you doing that? Did you sign a major deal that's getting you more money? How is it you're going to be giving people more money for less of an entry fee? And if what I think they should have said, and this would have tidied this up completely, is just say we're only going to give payouts to 20% of the field. Just say that. Like, it's a lot more just streamlined and clear and makes sense. If there's 100 boats, we're paying back 20% of the field. That's 20 people. Boom, done. Super easy. When you're stating this weird, we're going to be giving 20% of the field with 29 more money for a win and 25 more money for the last check in every qualifier, all while reducing the fees. Like, it just does not actually make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. What say you guys? 667-307-8583. This is a short live stream. I have a pre-recorded episode I've got to be doing this evening, but I just wanted to get this guys out there to you because it's absolutely bonkers. It's bonkers to me what is going on with this. And the fact that they're going after 360. Since when was Mega 360 a crime against humanity? I feel like Mega 360 or the old 360 just got caught in the crosshairs of this whole thing. We're going to ban 360 as well. I mean, at that point, just get rid of GPS and just turn the whole unit off. And so we went from you were allowed to have GPS, 2D, 360, all that on your front of a boat for a tournament to all of a sudden, like for half the event. Well, actually for more, because it's an 8-hour event, right? And I'm not good at math. I knew fish math, but 8 minus 3, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5. So 5 hours, 5 whole hours of an event. You're not allowed to have your 360 on. You're not allowed to have your scope on. That's interesting. That's wild. how are you going to enforce this? And even all you're going to do is create more drama between boaters and co-anglers, which again, what I heard from the old regional on the James River, there was one poor bastard that had 3 people in his boat, or maybe it was 2 people in him, but it was a total of 3 people, I think, in his boat, because, you know, a boater can't go out by himself because that's terrible. So let's just cram 3 people in a boat. That is the dumbest thing I ever heard of. Again, like that antiquated rule, we won't get rid of. Okay. Because listen, Randy Blockett told us back during the Korean War when he started fishing tournaments, this is just how it is, and this is how it always will be. We will not modify things at all where a boater can just go out by himself. God forbid that. So, you know how we think co-anglers are basically, and this is what they need to do. They need to come out and flat out say, like, listen, we value co-anglers more than we do boaters, period. We want the co-angler that bad that we care about him more than the guy that owns the damn boat that's going out there. And so because of that, what we're going to do is we're going to give him the impetus without saying it to flag, to whistle blow the boater. Now, granted, you could be like, but Tom, I live in a highly Christian, perfect background where everything is sugar plums and gumdrops and everyone is nice to each other. I do not see a problem with this. I also believe government should outlaw war and outlaw people being mean to each other. And if you do that, my goodness golly, it all works out. Absolutely, you're correct in your fantasy world. But I do not smoke meth. And the fact is this will get abused, and there's going to be so much bullshit, he said, she said stuff that's going to come after these tournaments. You know, if this stays the way it is, that's what's going to happen. And to me, if I was a cynical man, and I'm a cynical person, I really believe that they threw this out there to test the waters. It's vague as hell. They don't really talk about how they're going to enforce it. And why are they doing that? They're specifically doing that. So so they can see people's reactions and make adjustments. I bet anything, this thing will get more contextualized as time goes on and maybe even get walked back. This is a beta feed to see how people are going to take it. They have walked back rules before. Bass has done that. Major League Fishing has done that. I can totally see that happening here with this. I don't see how this is a positive. Especially when you have so many competing leagues. And that was the biggest thing with BFLs. And everyone said like, well, it was scope. Scope is why co-anglers aren't coming out anymore. Well, in a funny sense, I think it's because of scope. This might actually hurt BFLs because of this dumb law and how it'd be enforced. Will there be an uptick in boaters? I don't see it. I really don't. But again, we'll see what the fallout from all this will be. Again, if you guys are just joining me, here's the new ruling. All BFL events will include restricted use of forward-facing sonar and 360-degree sonar technology, limited to 3 hours of continuous use per day, maintaining a fair and balanced playing field for all anglers while emphasizing skill and strategy. There are 24 divisions, and this will be enacted in all of the divisions. For one-day qualifiers, so there's 4 events per division. That's how many tournaments there are, by the way. You guys can do the old math on that. And we're going to be reducing forward-facing sonar and 360 will be restricted to 3 hours in the event. How are you going to enforce this, you might add? Well, with all of those tournaments going on, unless after the event you're going to go check on everybody that cheated, because here's the kicker here with cheating. You can cheat and not win the tournament, right? You could cheat with shoving weights down a fish's throat and still not be the winner, but you still cheated. So what if the guy that won the tournament didn't cheat, but the guy that got in 4th place, he did cheat? Are you going to count everybody or just the person that wins? Like, what? That's a problem there, right? So unless you're going to flag everybody, you're going to have an issue with that. And that's only if you enforce it the one logical way I see how, which is somehow everyone's GPS unit has some kind of breadcrumb, which it probably does on the back end. So you can look in there and be like, this was the last time the forward-facing sonar was activated. Probably is what you'd be doing. But that's not the case. Probably. It's going to be somebody blowing a whistle, which will probably be your co-angler. Or it's both. It'll be the co-angler being like, hey, listen, he cheated with this. He used it way too long. I want you to go check his unit. And what if he didn't? What if by chance, okay, hey, it wasn't the 3 hours and the guy still blowed the whistle? A polygraph? Like, that's just such a hassle to be in the boat with somebody and think that they're staring at you just waiting for you to get into trouble? Are you going to push it to the 3 hour mark 100% and go, it's 3 hours right on the dot, and then you turn your unit off? Are you going to risk that when you don't know the co-angler? Let's say you catch that insanely important fish with 38 seconds on the clock and you get it in, but the co-angler is a dick because, yeah, there are some people that are just jerks, and he reports you, and then you have to go through all that BS to just prove your innocence. Doesn't that sound fun, guys? Doesn't that sound like a dream? What'll be great is if it's your buddy in the boat, and maybe you could use scope all day, finish in second or third place, and they don't even check you. Who knows? There's just so much wiggle room for this to be a problem. This is the thing I hate about rules. Make them as black and white as humanly possible and easy to actually uphold. There's a problem with no information rule. Do I think it's great in a utopia? Yeah, absolutely. There's a no information rule. But can that rule, because it's vague as shit, could the corporation you're working for, which is Major League Fishing, Bass, or the MPFL, could they use that if they hate you? 100%. If Bass doesn't like somebody, they could quite easily be like, yeah, we think you broke the no information rule because you talked to this person and it was vague enough or whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Polygraph. Because the thing is, just getting the polygraph done is enough of a threat to ruin your career in a lot of circumstances. Not all, but a lot. And depending on how big your brand is or where you're at in your fishing career, that can be damaging just to have the threat of being accused, because we are in this social media, #MeToo era where it's so easy for somebody to ruin your reputation and you can't come back from that. Not everybody. Like, you have big dogs out there, the Iconellis, the Millikens, the Gerald Swindles, where they have such a strong brand and everything. It would take a lot to hurt them. But if you're an up and coming kid, people don't know you, you're trying to get sponsors. It would be so easy for anyone to be like, yeah, listen, we got this tip anonymously and we're gonna hit you with it. Again, am I being a dark or pessimistic asshole? 100% I am. That's who I am. But that's what happens when you have rules that are this freaking vague out there. They're going to increase the payouts. Again, we're going back to that here. And then, guys, again, 667-307-8583 is the number if you want to call in and get on the old show. I would love to. I would love to hear your old thoughts on this. It's a unique situation for sure. I don't see why this was the best option to do. But I guess it's the only option they have, unless they give a device that you have to put on your boat and then you use that to like kind of lock and key it, but they don't want people to spend money on that. Okay, fine, fair enough. I don't know, dude. It's such a corporate decision to actually go through it this way. But I don't know. Back up here to the old payouts here. Since its inauguration season in 1980, the BFL has provided the foundation for tournament bass fishing on the premise that everyday anglers deserve professional quality events held close to their homes with low entry fees and quality payouts. That's a joke. I mean, the payouts have been absolutely atrocious for God knows how long at this point, but oh well. Thousands of anglers have gotten their start in the Bass Fishing League over the past 46 years and have risen to national prominence on the Toyota Series, Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, and the Bass Pro Tour. A total of 1,348 anglers have fished in 100 or more BFL tournaments, and 1,858 anglers have earned 10 or more top 10 finishes in BFL competition. Nearly 200 anglers, 194 total, have earned more than blah, 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 blah. Just hyping up all their recommendations. The 2026 introduces a new streamlined payout structure that awards 20% of the field with 29% more money for a win. I don't like the way that sentence is structured. It's very lawyery with that. I think they could have done that a lot better. Just cut down the field, make it so much easier, and just say 20% of the field will get a check, period. Like, that's how we're going to cut it off. Just 20%. That'll be your top 20. That would maximize everyone getting an absolutely banger type of check. Why is that so stupid? Why is that so hard to actually do? No freaking idea. But, that's what they do. Now, what's interesting is scaling up to the 7,705 for all boats. Like, just I think a $5,000 entry fee is fine, and then pay down on the rest. That's just me. Or $6,000. Why 7,750? Like, where did that come from? All right, we got some people here. I might be wrong, but I think they said continuous use for 3 hours. Maybe once you turn it on, co-anglers mark the start time, and boater has to turn off FFS after 3 hours. Maybe that's one way to do it. Dave Smith, you're right. Just have tournaments with FSS and ones without. Guys will fish tournaments they prefer, and people still buy non-FFS units, so the big three can still make money. Yeah, like, why? Because they won't do that. Dave, you're right. That is the most logical thing. But again, this is a corporation saying, you know what our two biggest money makers are? It's kids shows and the adult film industry. I have a great idea. Let's make an adult film with Bluey, and they'll both be happy. They won't. You just pissed off everyone. No one's going to watch. Maybe some person would, but no one's going to be happy with that split. But this is corporate America, ladies and gentlemen. Slow clap to the primitive apes that came up with this retardedness. And with me just making a weird adult film industry meme, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Hunter. What up, big dog?
What's happening?
It's just, you know, when I think it couldn't get any stupider, they come up with this crap.
No, this is one of those dumb ones, man. This is one of the worst I've ever seen.
The idea that you just genuinely trust the goodness of people's hearts to just monitor themselves, I think is they didn't say it, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah, especially when we already apparently have this giant divide between boaters and co's. It's like, yeah, let's just make it worse.
What are your thoughts? Let's just get right into it. This is the therapy session.
All right. Everyone grab your popcorn. I think there's a lot of things that they did not realize. If you look at the BPT, and I've heard Drew Gill talk about this a lot, that first period has turned into a turbo period for the guys that are the best with scope, right? So you got your Drew Gill, your Wheeler, your DC, the guys that want to get – their whole goal is to catch as many fish in that first period. When you have a guy like – I'm going to use my boy McCluskey. McCluskey's a really good scoper. I've learned a lot scoping from him. He's one of the best I've seen. And then you take my boy Jimmy. Jimmy's not a real person, but Jimmy has it. He's okay with it. But if there's a scope bite, it's going to take him a while. McCluskey can plan his day where he's on his best fish, and he's got the winning bag by 9 a.m. When someone who has the scope isn't as good with it, and it's going to take them longer to get their bag, you're really only benefiting the scope guys right now because they're going to jump in. They're going to get their fish quick when the other guys who maybe take a longer time to get their fish in. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's going to hurt a lot of guys, and I think the guys that are complaining about scope, it doesn't change anything. Like, this whole time you could have fished without scope. Like, what's this 3-hour period going to really change for you other than you're going to look to your right at 12 o'clock and the guy's not going to be scoping?
Yeah, and why 3 hours? Are you doing this based on the BPT and the periods they have? Because if you did, that's retarded because it doesn't translate. That's 3 periods in a day, if I'm not mistaken, and this is 1 8-hour tournament. Why not make it 4? Like a half and half. Okay, great. No, it didn't. The thought process to me is like, it didn't go to that next step. It's like if this was a board meeting, it was 3 monkeys humping a football and they sent it out and they didn't even check their work.
Makes no sense. I saw that the invitationals as well went to a 3-hour thing. So I guess that's MLF's whole goal is to make everything 3 hours. I assume the Toyotas will follow. I hope not, but I assume. But yeah, it's not much of a half and half. It's definitely favoring the guys that have been complaining about other people scoping.
And I think it was you or somebody else that said like there was an incident at the super regional on the James where they had like 3 people in one boat. Like, again,
yeah,
you have these antiquated, stupid rules to where you can't go out by yourself, better draw in 2025. We won't fix that, but let's do this instead. And again, I can already hear the headlines of drama of people like again, trying to throw somebody under the bus. We're going to have a polygraph because this guy said this, blah, blah, blah. Why would you want to enter with and it'd be stressful as hell. You don't know the guy in the back of your boat. Are you going to try to push your scope for 3 hours straight, knowing like he might try to rat you out? Even if you're in the clear, you still have to go through that crap.
Yep. Yeah, you're just driving a bigger rift in between boaters and cows. And it's a rift that, like, every co I've ever had has been awesome. Like, no complaints. Like, cows have always been awesome to me, at least in my experiences. There's always going to be bad experience between guys. But, yeah, I've always had great relationship with cows, and it's just going to make it harder and harder to build good relationships when the guy in the back of my boat is holding a key to my electronics that I paid $4,000 for. It's like, what are we doing? It's a one-day tournament. Like, it just doesn't need to be this difficult. And I mean, they're going to lose. Like, I've been reading all the pages to see what guys think about, and I've seen a lot more hate than I've seen people that are excited. So I think it's going to hurt the amount of boats they get. I was going to fish them next year, and I don't want to be involved with all that mess. So I'm going to find some better trails to fish. But yeah, disappointing for sure.
It's just the drama of, and again, so it's the same thing like with no information rule. I think in a communist utopia, that's a great idea. But if somebody has a vendetta against you, they can use it. And if you have the brand and the backing, it doesn't matter if somebody like allegedly says you did this or that. But if you're a newbie, your first year on the trail, and someone's like, yeah, he cheated by getting no information, even if you did not do it, going through that crap could hurt your chances of getting sponsorship money, your brand deals, all that stuff. And it makes it such a witch hunt. And for better or worse, that's what it is. And nobody has common sense to think that through. Like how many polygraphs they worked their asses off on the Bassmaster Tour this year with how many people got polygraphed. Right or wrong, you're still going to be associated with the guy that got the polygraph. Why are you doing that to your anglers? I don't know, dude. It's frustrating.
It's brutal. It's brutal. And I don't know. It's so dumb. It's just, I see that it's so pointless in such a grassroots level. Like, obviously you fish the BFLs. You're not fishing for that tournament. You're fishing to work up to stuff. And I get that, but it's like, it's a $200 tournament. Like, why are we limiting? Like, why are we telling people what they can and can't use on their boats that they paid for? And I get it. If you don't like fishing with scope, I have nothing against you. Obviously, I love it. I fish with it all the time. I think it's awesome. But I also grew up on a river where I'm, my trolling motor's beat to hell half the time. But if you don't like fishing with scope, 100% get it. You don't have to use it. Mm-hmm. Why does someone else who doesn't like using it affect me when I enjoy it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And why can't we just have, and I know this is stupid, I think I know the answer to this, but like, why can't we just have two different trails? Like, you can have your burger restaurant, you can have your Chick-fil-A, no scope and scope. And the answer is they want that sweet Garmin money. Like that's what it is. Like, but no one says that. No one says the truth of, hey, if Bass could make money off of not having scope, they would have done that day one.
Yep. And on a bigger scale, like looking at the pros, like, I don't know how as a consumer people didn't enjoy this year. You had MPFL who banned it. Mm-hmm. They did an awesome job. Their coverage was awesome all year. MLF always has great coverage. They did the half and half. They had a really good year. Bass was full-fledged scope with the limitation, which didn't do anything, but they had every trail had an awesome schedule. Everything was so diverse. And so this year, definitely, I mean, we already knew that no one was going to be happy, but this year proved that no matter what you do, no one's going to be happy, no matter what.
And this is in any industry, any social media setting, this is what it is. You're not going to make everybody happy. So just say like, guys, this is what we're going to do. Take it or leave it. This, just be done with it. And no one in any organization has the balls to do that. And it's just, again, it blows my mind. Because if you look at what happened with, I think Jay Kumar did this, where like half the Elite Series wins this year, they didn't use scope. Like, and it's Mississippi River, places like that. And then they still went to the half and half schedule, which didn't, what you did with making the schedule where, hey, if we go to the Mississippi River, no one's going to be minnowing in 38 feet of water on the upper Mississippi. Like, it takes care of itself, and people want to watch a frog bite. That works great. Just do that thing.
Every time.
Fuck me.
It just isn't this complicated. they had such a good year. And apparently, from what they said, they had 47 million people watching every week. But then we got to make changes. It's like someone's lying here, but a lot of stuff's not adding up. I thought, as far as this year went, it was an awesome year. I watched a lot of live, probably more than a lot of people, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the MPFL. I loved watching them not having scope. They just said, to hell with it, we're not doing scope, and they had a great year. And
Yeah.
then I thought it was an awesome year.
I thought it was a great year. I watched all three. I loved all three. I like what Major League Fishing does with like every other period thing or however the hell they do it. And it was your choose your own adventure, but no one's going to be happy with that. And maybe that's what we need to have is just 2 leagues, but I don't see that happening. I just don't. And it's because the people in power won't say they'll gaslight everyone, and they'll just hope that people are dumb enough to be like, yeah, I don't know why this and this will happen, and it's Scope's fault. And that's what the headline will be. They're going to be blaming the live scope. They're going to blame live scope for the BFLs being down. If the BFLs are down next year, they're going to blame live scope, but it's self-inflicted. They did this with their own retarded thing, but then they'll circle back and say like, oh no, it's because the live scope, there's no co-anglers. It's like, no. It's because you made a retarded rule that no one's happy with.
And I'm not even like, I'm going to choose to not fish the BFLs. I wanted to this year, but I mean, it happened to me. I blew my motor. I didn't have a boat for half the year. So I really wanted to fish the BFLs. I wanted to try to make the All-American, but I just don't. I'm not going to drive to Smith Mountain and then deal with all that BS. Like, I just don't even want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd rather go fish tournaments where I can just fish how I want to fish, when I want to fish, go where I want to go. Like, I just don't want to deal with all that. And the payouts aren't even that good. Like, we're going to act like we bump these payouts like insane. Pretty much the same thing.
And maybe it's because I can't read or do math good, but when it says streamlined payout structure that awards 20% of the field with 29% more money for a win and 25% more money for the last, what the hell does that mean? It seems like word vomit for saying we're going to increase the payouts, but we're not telling you how.
Well, but what they aren't saying is that the payout used to be 30% of the field, I'm pretty sure. So we're already paying less people. I believe they took more money from the top, from what I saw someone say. Definitely could be wrong, but it definitely used to be 30%, which we were paying. So we're paying less people. Payouts just aren't that great. You can fish Elite 70 and pay, I think it's like $500 and win 11 grand. It's like, there's just so many better options out there. I don't see a reason to fish them, especially with all the new stupid rules.
How do you think they fix this? Like what would you do to fix it?
I think it would go back to what it was. I think I obviously I enjoy fishing by myself. Like, no one ever wants a random guy in the back of the boat. I understand the need for cows. I think it jumpstarts a ton of bass fishing careers. So I don't want to just get rid of cows. But I thought we were in a great spot. Apparently, a lot of people didn't, and we're letting the cows dictate how we fish. So I don't know. I don't know if there is any coming back from this, because like we were saying, you're never going to make everyone happy. So everyone knows that the BFLs are not meant as it's for MLF to make money. That's why MLF was bought, or FLW was bought. They were bought for the BFLs and the Toyotas. So until they realize they're going to lose a lot of money with people not showing up, I don't really see it getting fixed anytime soon.
We've got Ang here who says, moving the boat around, cranking the motor, and everything includes in that 3 hours. Yeah, that's true. It's like, if you're like, what 3 hours? Do you declare the 3 hours? Do you say like, okay, my 3 hours starts now? Like, it's so vague. I wonder if this is kind of where companies will do a release to see how people react and then pivot from there. My gut feels like that's what they're doing with this, because they didn't explain how this will be enforced, but common sense dictates it has to do with the co-angler at some level, because unless you're only going to check the winner of the event and that's it, which, okay, cool. Everyone else, the only way they get ratted out is by the co-angler, right? Unless you're going to go through and check every single person that enters the tournament.
I heard from someone, I don't know if they were talking about BFLs, but there was some sort of GPS thing that MLF was working on to either be able to monitor it or something. But way too complicated for they're not going to do that, like you were saying, for however many BFLs they have. But then, like you said, like how do you when does 3 hour starts? If the 3 hour starts at blast off, what about guys here at the James that want to use it but have to make an hour run?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's complicating stuff that doesn't need to be complicated, which I know they love to do.
Yeah, and I mean, God bless them, because I had a gut feeling it was going to be them that tried to do something that was outlandish like this. It wasn't going to be Bass. Bass is way too. I'm going to say it here. This is my thought. They're just too much of a coward to make a big jump. They're going to let somebody else do it first. And Boyd is very willing to run through a brick wall first.
Yep.
And my God, did he do it with this? Yeah. Do you think they walk it back? What do you think happens from here?
I don't think you can. Like when you make a decision like this, you kind of got to say, this is how we're rolling, or else you're going to look like a bunch of cowards. But MLF has been known to not stick to their guns, and they definitely have jumped around a ton since they started this whole deal whenever they bought FLW. So I have no clue. I don't know. I assume that they'll do a season and then go from there, but we're getting to a point where changes every single off season because of a little transducer on your trolling motor. Like it's getting ridiculous. Like make some decisions, decide what you're going to do, stick with them, and then we'll figure it out from there. But
absolutely,
I don't know. Different rules every single year is getting to be ridiculous.
And then, guys, if you guys just join, I'm going to go through this. They're enforcing forward-facing sonar restrictions next year, 3 hour period. Don't know how they're going to enforce it next year for the BFLs. And this is the bigger one I want to touch on here. I had 360 on my boat before I ever got forward-facing sonar. I had the first one, and I had Mega. They are also shit-canning Mega 360, basically. I like how they say 360-degree sonar technology. It's just Humminbird. That's basically it. I don't know why they can't just say that, but 360 is also being limited. So why is a 360 catching strays? It was never a problem until now.
360 has been around for like 12, 15 years.
Yeah.
And no one ever cared. Like it's just side imaging, but 360. Like I don't know. I never even heard anyone complain about 360. Like no one's ever been like, it's BS that you use 360. Like it's just a random thing to just loop in. Like even MPFL, they all use 360.
Yeah.
Like it's so random.
And it feels like it's just this pushback of people that were for technology push the pendulum one way, and so they're going to go hard the other direction, where it's like now you can only use mapping on the front of your boat. And does 360 even have that timestamp technology to be like when it was turned on, when it was turned off? I didn't
even know LiveScope has that technology, so I have no clue.
Is it unit based? Like if you have an older boat and you still have a Helix, does the Helix allow you to put a breadcrumb trail? Like I don't know. Like will that be the next bootleg thing? Is you're going to try to get older units that don't have the ability to have that update? Are they going to Yeah, it's just they made it so much more complicated than they had to. There's going to be so many ways to get around this. There was a guy at a Lake Fork kayak tournament that just used Photoshop and AI to try to get around a fish submission. And this literally opens the door for more bullshit like that. We got Strike City DMV. They're complaining about 360 because it's a forward-facing sonar as well, just not live. Yeah, it's almost like you have so many, again, boomers or any blockets that just, they see it and they're scared because they don't know how a computer works. They served in the Korean War, God bless them. And they just see 360 and it's scary. And so they're just going to plaster anything that's technology and shiny. That's bad. That's the devil. We got Adrian Fishing there. Make sure it's not a bad word before I say it. Some code anglers about to get paid off. Dude. Yes. Like,
yeah, slide him a 50.
What if I get drawn on Hunter's boat? I'm his co-angler. Dude is using scope all day, man. And as long as he doesn't win the thing where he has to check it, he's fine.
Yep.
Like, that's going to happen in this good old boy's world. Oh my God. Let's see. Check the old Instagram here. let's see if we got some questions right here. We got Adrian Viana says, some co-anglers about to get paid off. Yep. And then we got Key West Fly on Instagram. Guys, I cannot share Instagram comments over the screen, so you have to go over to Facebook and YouTube. Biggest comment right here is, how are they going to enforce this thing? Question mark. No idea how they're going to enforce this at all. Boyd is off his meds. I 100% agree with that. We got Convey here. My entry fees and sandwich and parking, and I don't see nothing. Dude, yeah. It's just, you just created more drama. And you wanted in your plea to bow to the co-angler. In 2025, when kayak fishing is a thing, we're about to go into World War III, you thought, let's put the married couple against each other and let's have them ride on each other. This will solve all the issues. No, I'm going to fish the Alpha series. If I could get in, I'm going to fish one of Steve Camp's thing. I'm going to fish any other series than yours. Yeah, my God. Let's see. I think McCluskey was going to come on. McCluskey, are you coming on or not? I heard you on some chat that you wanted to come on here and talk about this after your winning ways. Let's see. We got a name that I will not pronounce. How does this and AI compare? No. So what I meant was a guy in a kayak tournament tried to use AI in Photoshop to get around the rules, to cheat, which is basically cheating will always happen as long as human beings exist. This rule, the more rules you put out there, for every rule you create somebody that will try to get around it. So if the no information rule, people figure out ways around this. This rule here created impetus for people to try to figure out how to skirt the system. That's kind of what I meant there with that. And they're going to try. People will figure out ways to get around this. Let's see. We got Dante Gray here. Since Lowrance 3-in-1 transducer provides 360 imaging, is the 3-in-1 transducer going to be limited? Who fucking knows? They didn't say that. It's in this press release. It's this amount here. That's it. It's a paragraph. It's like 100 words. That's it to explain this huge change in their system. It's a shit show for sure. And again, guys, 24 divisions, 4 tournaments. So do the math there. All those tournaments, there is no way in hell that they're going to monitor every single boat. It's just going to be the winner. 100% it's the winner, and then whoever wants to get ratted out. That's just how it's going to go. Matt here says, I wonder if you see more links next year because of this. Ooh, yeah. 100%. That's going to be spicy too. Oh my God. All right. So I don't know if McCluskey's coming on, and I do have a pre-recorded show I'm going to have to do at some point here. Guys, I'll put out the number here one more time. If you guys want to call in or whatever, and win a prize, 667-307-8583 is the call-in number. Hotline is up. We got about 15 minutes. Then I have to pull out and get ready for a pre-recorded show I'm doing. What other trails, Hunter, do you think people are going to be flocking to next year if you had to pick in this area?
Staying local probably. I know me, I'm fishing the Bass Nation stuff. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm doing they have 4 qualifiers. So it's not a trail. They're all individual tournaments. So top 15 in each one, or it's a percentage, but I think it usually is at top 15. Goes to the national championship. You win that, you go to the classic and the elites. You top 3, you go to the classic and get your entry fees for the opens paid for. So I'm going to do those. I'm going to do 2 or 3 of those. I have not heard any restrictions on those because Bass flip-flops the tournaments for scope. So those aren't a trail, so I don't think you can flip-flop them. So I'm going to do that. And then I don't know. Who knows? Maybe this is going to be awesome for MLF and everyone's going to flock to them and they're absolutely going to love the new format.
No.
That's all we can hope. But yeah, I have no clue. We're running out of trails that are normal to fish.
Yeah. So. Steve, if you're listening, don't do this for like 2026. This is the not to do section. MPFL, Bass, don't do this. This is stupid, and I think this is good. I'm gonna bet $20 right now, guys. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with this. This is gonna get walked back. It's gonna get walked back somehow, or they're gonna contextualize it, which will make it way worse. And we got Andrea Fishing here that says, honestly, sit back and think, how the hell are they gonna? I'm sorry, I added that, but how the hell are they gonna police this? Here we go again with another honesty rule. Yeah, honesty is stupid. I mean, you should practice it and all that Jesus stuff, but like you shouldn't rely on that as your metric for how you live and how you run a tournament trail. It's just, dude, it's wild. It's absolutely wild to me that they're going to be doing this. And it's great you're going to be increasing the payouts, but how are you doing that? Do you have all this extra money, or is it just that you're slashing it down to where you're not getting a $26 check for finishing like 98th place? Which, if that's what you're doing, great. Why can't you write that better? Just literally say top 20 will get a check. End. Done. That's all we're going to do. Yeah, people will bitch, but that would increase the payouts allegedly. But I don't.
I promise you, whatever this payout structure is, I'd have to look more into it. It's benefiting MLF more than it's benefiting the anglers. There's no way that. There's just no way.
No. All right. We got Ty in the chat. Bass and the Furious, brother. I am excited to do our recorded episode next week. What do you think, dude? I'm signing up. Everybody out. I'm in. Dude, pros and cons. So now, Ty, if you're in the co-angler, this is great. Ask for $20 to $30 and you'll do whatever your boater says. You'll make profit. This is the best way for co-anglers to actually make money now. Depending on how well they do, just say like, hey, listen, maybe it takes a little bit of hush money, an extra $300. Who knows? So this is how you get the hustling game. That's going to happen, dude. You freaking know you're going to be on Kentucky Lake.
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah.
Yeah. The blackmailing is going to be legendary. Like, why wouldn't you?
It's so dumb. I don't know. I'd love to hear if someone's like stoked about it. Like if someone's fired up and they're like, yeah, now I'm definitely going to fish the BFLs, more power to them. But I don't see it.
What's the wiggle room? Like if somebody's fishing like 3 hours and 1 minute, do you bust them? 3 hours and 2 minutes, 3 hours and 5 minutes? I don't know. Like, it's one thing with a Marshall for the big time guys. I get that. But for this, it's just, I don't know. I don't want to deal with the hassle and especially the pressure of having to deal with somebody that could bust you for no reason at all. And again, I know I'm being a cynical little asshole with this all, but anyway, dude, what do you got coming up here?
Me? Nothing. My boat's getting rigged. I'm finishing everything up. I've got to throw some Raptors on, and she'll be ready for the next year. So just got a new motor on. That video's dropping soon. I did an entire break-in video in slow motion, so that's super cool. But I'm dropping a video of me picking it up and doing a little fishing. So first video in a couple months is dropping. Got one dropping next week with SB.
Ooh.
Hopefully just back on filming and all that fun stuff.
Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. All right, guys, we finally got the comment we've been looking for. People are still going to do BFLs because everyone bitches and cries, but their egos are too big to stop doing tournaments. Anglers are like real housewives of fishing. Dude, I see no lie in that statement right there at all. Like, yep, they will bitch, but they'll still show up, especially if the money is good. Let's see. We got some co-anglers get paid off. That's all I'm saying. Yep, 100% on Instagram. Just a lot of like bullshit stuff. I agree. Yeah. But if attendance wasn't good, and again, everything is like percentiles. Like if this decreases attendance by like 2% next year from where attendance was on BFLs on average, that's a huge drop. And something else I want to let you guys know, like I talked with this on Brian on the Basscast, the most popular and the one that had the most turnout all year, last year or 2025, this year, was the Shenandoah division and the Piedmont. Those were the like 1 and 2 divisions when it came to BFL turnout. Not anything in Alabama, nothing down south. It was our 2 divisions, partially because we're the only ones that still have money with the economy and stuff, but that's it. So if it goes down a little bit here, what does it do to the rest of the BFLs across the United States? That to me is what's going to be fascinating. Is this going to be regional or is it just going to be across the board? And we got Paul in the house. Dude, I've been waiting for you. I was thinking when you're going to get on here. Getting ready to go for a run, so can't stay long. BFL money sucks. And I have $15K in electronics that I was told I needed to have. Now they're saying I can't use it. They can suck it. Yeah, 100%. Or you can just, pay your co-angler, a solid like $200 or $300 and you can do whatever you want. There's money there. There's gonna be money there. Anyway.
Yeah. We're screwed. That's all I know.
We're screwed. What you got coming up at the tackle shop, big dog?
Tackle shop still running. We got Black Friday sale, so that'll be cool. And yeah, it's slowing down a little bit, but we're still selling a lot of live bait. A lot of new mega bass in the shop, which everyone loves. Yeah, always have new stuff shipping in. So check with us every week. We always got stuff shipping in.
Awesome stuff, guys. Going out there fishing pro tech with the man, the myth, Hunter Smith. Go check out all of his stuff. And yeah, we will see you guys next time on Fishing the DMV. See you guys. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.